With the NHL jumping right into the playoffs upon its return, and the 2019-20 regular season being officially over, we now have a pretty good idea on who all of the contenders are for each of the NHL awards. And in today's video, I want to go over my predictions on who I think is going to win the major NHL awards, and also give you my thoughts on who I think deserves to win. Because there kind of is a difference between who I think is actually going to get the award and who I think deserves it. And one thing I should say, there are a lot of NHL awards, but in this video, we're only really going to be focusing on the major ones. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, then be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with all that being said, let's jump right into it. Beginning the video, let's talk about the Jack Adams Award, which is basically the Coach of the Year award. My pick to win is John Tortorella, head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And for this one, there isn't a difference between my prediction and who I think actually deserves to win. I predict it's going to be Tortorella, and I think he deserves it as well when you consider everything Columbus lost in the offseason. Artemi Panarin signed with the Rangers, Bobrovsky to the Panthers, Duchesne to the Predators, Dzingel went to the Canes. Nobody really expected Columbus to do much this season and be in the position that they're in right now, but here they are heading into the playoffs after having a fantastic season coached by John Tortorella. The team finished with a 33-22-15 record, 81 points. Yes, just 5th in the Metro, but if they were in a division, say for instance like the Pacific, they would have been as high as 3rd. I think Tortorella did an amazing job with this team. I think they all exceeded expectations, and one thing that you really have to love about John Tortorella, on top of him being just a hilarious character in the league, is the fact that no matter what team is given to him, you can bet that they are going to be annoying to play against and they are going to be a competitive team. He's always going to have his guys ready to play, and I definitely think he deserves to win the Jack Adams this year. The next award we're going to talk about is the Selke Trophy, which is awarded to the league's best defensive forward, and my prediction, and also who I think deserves it most, is Sean Couturier of the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, if you ask me, I think Sean Couturier probably should have won a Selke Trophy in his career by now, and I think it's really only a matter of time before he wins one, and he's a player that I could see winning multiple before his career comes to an end. Over the past 3 seasons especially, I think Sean Couturier has been one of the most underrated players in the league. Throughout his entire career, he's always been a really good defensive forward, but since he started putting up big offensive numbers as well, that really elevated him into becoming one of the best two-way forwards in the entire league. On top of having 59 points this season in 69 games, Sean Couturier also led all Philadelphia Flyers members in takeaways, plus minus, and on top of that, he's also great in the faceoff circle. There really isn't much that Sean Couturier can't do. He's the type of player that coaches dream to have on their team, and I think this year he definitely deserves to win the Selke Trophy, and I hope he wins it because, like I said, I think he probably should have won one by now in his career anyways. Moving on now to the next trophy, we have the Bill Masterson Award, which is awarded to the player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to ice hockey. For those of you who don't know, one player from all 31 NHL teams is nominated for this award. My prediction on who I think is going to win this year, and also who I think deserves it most, is Stephen Johns, defenseman for the Dallas Stars. Johns was selected by the Blackhawks with the 60th overall pick back in the 2010 NHL draft and was later traded to the Dallas Stars. For those of you not familiar with the story of Stephen Johns, back on January 18th of this season, he played his first game since returning from a post-traumatic headache he suffered during the 2017-18 season. And then on February 3rd, he scored his first goal in nearly 2 years in a game against the New York Rangers. What Stephen Johns was able to bounce back from and actually continue to play pretty well when he was healthy and in the lineup for the Dallas Stars this season, to me, really does embody perseverance and the dedication to ice hockey. I could also see them going with a guy like Bobby Ryan, who would be a great candidate, but my final prediction is Stephen Johns. I also think he deserves it most, and I really hope he continues to stay healthy for the remainder of his career. Next up, we have the Vezina Trophy, which is of course awarded to the league's best goaltender every single season, and my pick definitely has to be Connor Hellebuyck, and you guys know me, if you've watched the videos throughout the year, I think he deserves it more than any other goaltender in the league. You could also make a case that Connor Hellebuyck should have won the Vezina Trophy back in the 2017-18 season when he set the single season record for most wins by a US-born goaltender with 44. But when you take everything into consideration from the 2019-20 season, I just don't see how Connor Hellebuyck doesn't doesn't win the Vezina Trophy. He accounted for 31 of the Winnipeg Jets' 37 wins. He also finished with a .922 save percentage, and for all my advanced stats viewers out there, he finished the regular season amongst the best in the league in terms of goals saved above expected. He really didn't get much help from his backup Laurent Brossoit, who had an abysmal season, and it's not like the Jets had an amazing blue line in front of him. This Jets blue line lost Jacob Trouba, Tyler Myers, Dustin Byfuglien, and Ben Sherratt in the offseason. So yeah, that's my case for Connor Hellebuyck for the Vezina, and honestly, I'll be pretty shocked if he doesn't win it. The next trophy we're going to talk about is the Norris, which is of course awarded to the league's best defenseman every single season. My prediction, I think John Carlson of the Washington Capitals is going to win it. He was a beast this year and had one of the best offensive seasons that we have seen from a defenseman in a very, very long time. Now, in terms of who I think deserves to win the Norris, I definitely think John Carlson does, but man, is it ever close, and I think Roman Josi deserves a ton of credit and really should be in this conversation as well for the season that he had with the Nashville Predators. He was really the saving grace for Nashville this season. Without him, who knows where they would have been, because all in all, they didn't really have an amazing season, especially compared to the expectations that everybody had for this team heading into the year. So I definitely think Roman Josi does deserve a ton of credit, and part of me feels like he deserves it, but the season that John Carlson had really, in my opinion, just can't be ignored. And I know when it comes to defensemen, it is a lot more than just the points, but look at a guy like Brent Burns who won the Norris Trophy before. It's not like Brent Burns is an amazing defender in his own end. He just put up a ton of points that year, and John Carlson shattered those numbers this year. His points per game was much better than the points per game Burns had in his Norris Trophy winning season. So yeah, I definitely think the Norris Trophy is kind of a tough one between these two guys, but make sure to let me know down below in the comment section who do you think is going to win and who do you think deserves to win. Moving on now, we have the Ted Lindsay Award, which of course is the league MVP voted on by the players. And this is kind of a tough one to predict because it's the players voting on it, and it's a tough one to say who deserves it because, again, it's decided by the players. If I had to guess, my prediction, I think it's going to be Nathan MacKinnon, or maybe even a guy like Artemi Panarin. I don't think it's going to be Leon Draisaitl. I just have a feeling they're going to vote somebody else. But like I said, this is kind of a tough one to predict, and we're kind of just going to have to wait and see what happens and who the players end up voting on. But if I had to just throw a random guess out there, I think it is going to be Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche. It seems like he does have respect from a lot of the other players. Mark Scheifele of the Jets said he believes Nathan MacKinnon should win the Hart this year, but we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Moving along now, we have the Calder Trophy, which is awarded to the NHL's Rookie of the Year. My prediction, I think they are going to give it to CALE MAKAR of the Colorado Avalanche. He put up some incredible numbers, one of the best offensive rookie seasons from a defenseman that we have seen in an extremely long time. Watching him play this year, just the things he did out there for the Avalanche, it really is hard to believe that he was a rookie. 50 points in 57 games. He was the best defenseman on the Colorado Avalanche, who do have some other really good defenders on the team. With that said though, I do think Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks does deserve the Calder Trophy a little bit more than CALE MAKAR. I just think he was more important to the Vancouver Canucks than CALE MAKAR was to the Colorado Avalanche. Say for an example, if you took Quinn Hughes off of the Vancouver Canucks, are they a playoff team? I don't really think so, but if you take CALE MAKAR off the Avalanche, I still think they are going to be okay. Quinn Hughes just played such a big role in the success of the Canucks this season. He had tough matchups every night and still was able to put up really good offensive numbers. So that's kind of my stance on the Calder Trophy debate. I think CALE MAKAR is going to win it. That's my prediction. I think they're going to give it to him, but I think Quinn Hughes does deserve it a little bit more. And now finally, we have the Hart Trophy, the league's MVP. My prediction, I think they are going to give it to Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. On the little picture that the NHL put on their Instagram and their Twitter, it looked like the voting is heavily in favor of Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers. He had an incredible offensive season. He does have his haters, especially in terms of his overall impact on the game and his defensive game, but 110 points in 71 games this year for a team that was second in the Pacific Division. Draisaitl had an incredible year, and you can't deny that. However, I have kind of changed my mind on who I think deserves it most. I'm actually going to go with Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche. The other night, I really sat back and thought about it for a long time, and what Nathan MacKinnon was able to do this season given the circumstances is actually pretty incredible. His wingers, Rantanen and Landeskog, both missed a lot of time due to injury this season, and MacKinnon was still able to put up ridiculously good offensive numbers and carry this Avalanche team to a lot of wins. So I think Nathan MacKinnon deserves it most, but like I said, my prediction is Leon Draisaitl. I think that is who the NHL is going to go with. But I also do want to mention Artemi Panarin, who had an incredible season and definitely deserves to be in the conversation along with these two guys as well. And in my opinion, the 3 nominees will be DRAISAITL, MacKinnon, and Artemi Panarin. So that is going to do it for my NHL awards predictions and picks video for the 2019-20 season. This might have been confusing for some people, but there is a difference between who I think they are going to pick and who I think personally deserves to win. But make sure to let me know down in the comments section below, who do you think deserves to win all the awards we talked about in today's video. And if you guys did like the video, please make sure to go down there and drop a like on it. That's the best way to show your support. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button for some more NHL content, and I will see you guys all in the next video.